When we bring movement into our synovial joints, our wrists and our shoulders, our hips, our knees, our ankles, we encourage the flow of synovial fluid into those areas. I liken it to the Tin Man with an oil can, and he squirts it to make those joints start to move. And when we don't move our joints too often, if we're very sedentary, they tend to get stiff, dried up. So we're going to move those joints today and get some synovial fluid flowing there. And we're also going to move our spine in 6 different directions, encouraging the flow of spinal fluid, really plumping up those discs between the vertebrae, giving ourselves a little bit more mobility, range of motion. So sitting nice and tall, feet are flat on the ground, knees and hips straight ahead. And the crown of the head is lifted, sternum is lifted. We're going to bring our forearms together and interlace our hands, our fingers. And we're going to begin to make circles. So we're just beginning to bring some movement into those wrists. And when it feels right, we're going to move those wrists in the opposite direction. And then bring your hands down to your lap. Take one hand, left hand out to the front, palm is down. We're going to turn the fingers down towards the ground and just hook our thumbs together. Bring the fingers onto the back of the hand and just gently pull. So you're gently pulling that left hand in towards you, getting a nice stretch through the forearm here. Nice stretch into that carpal tunnel. Always breathing into stretches. So we want to always bring our breath right to the place that we're stretching. So if you can't imagine that happening at all, just breathe nice and fully and try to relax whatever might feel tight as you exhale. Moving the hand up so the palm is facing away from you. Take the other hand and bring it across the top and then draw the fingers back so you're getting a nice stretch in that forearm in another way. Nice full breaths. And then releasing that hand down, we're going to take the right arm out. We're going to turn the fingers down and hook the thumbs, draw the hand back. So the straighter the arm, the best stretch you're going to get. But if this is difficult for you, just put a little bend in your elbow and you'll be good. And breathe into that stretch. So nice breath in. And nice breath out. Moving upward, so we're going to change the position of the hand, bring the fingers in front of the right palm and draw the fingers back. Nice full breaths. And then releasing that hand down. We're going to bring our arms out to the sides, palms are up. And then we're going to bring our hands to cup our shoulders. We're going to start to draw circles on the wall to the left and the right of us, as if you have a crayon on the end of your elbow. So we're simply going to cup the shoulders and begin to draw large, slow circles. So the spine stays nice and long, feet stay grounded, and the breath stays full. You know, sometimes when we're concentrating on doing things, we hold our breath. Happens all the time. So I'll be frequently reminding you to breathe. And then we're going to draw those circles in the opposite direction, big and slow. Nice full breaths as you go. Then we're going to pause with the elbows as high as the shoulders. And on an inhale, we're going to open up the hands, reach to the walls on the side. We're going to bring the hands back. So the elbows are getting a little bit of work now. We're getting those synovial fluids into those elbows. We just did the shoulders. We're just opening on the inhale and closing up on the exhale. Opening and closing. One more time, bringing the arms out and then bringing them back. Bringing the hands down onto your lap. I'd like you to close your eyes and just notice what's happening. A lot of the times when we start to move our bodies, we start to get that oxygenated blood to flow in places that might not have had it, seen it in quite some time, because we open up the pathways for that blood and that oxygen to get to those parts. So you might feel a little bit of effervescence, a little change in energy. So in yoga, we always want to notice what's going on. from the inside. So just pause and notice maybe there's some warming in the shoulders or in the arms or the wrists. And then opening your eyes once again, we're going to come into a pose called mountain pose, seated mountain pose. So again, it's where everything is stacked and aligned and our arms are down by our sides. We're going to start to move the left arm forward and up, and then forward and back. So I'm mirroring you here. So right arm forward and up, and exhale forward and down. We're simply going to alternate up and down, and up and down. 2 more on each side. Left arm up, reach it forward and down. So we're elongating, lengthening as we reach. Shoulders are getting a little bit more of that nice juice. 1 more on this side. And then down. So we're going to work on our hips. We're going to start some movement that's going to start a little bit of movement in our hips. So we're simply going to bring our hands on our thighs and begin to rotate. So we're going to bring the torso forward and off to the side and back and around. Big, slow circles here. And just make it organic. You may want to bring a shoulder forward if it feels good to stretch in that area. Pausing and reversing direction. So you're just going to move in the opposite direction. And then coming to stillness. We're going to move down to our knees, get some movement there. So we're just going to lift the left leg, kick it out, flex the foot, and bring it down. Take the right leg up and forward, flexing, and then bring it down. So we're just going to alternate lifting and flexing and bringing it down, lifting and flexing and lowering. Lifting, flexing, and lowering. Lifting, flexing, and lowering. 1 more on each side. And there. Great. So what we're going to do now is find a standing posture. I'm going to do some movements in a standing posture. So we're going to bring ourselves up out of the chair and stand by the chair. If for any reason it's not possible for you to get out of a chair, you can do some of these things while you're seated. So give it a try. So we're going to do a little ankle roll here. And I'm going to hold onto the chair and take my left foot. I'm going to move forward a little bit. Take my left foot behind me, right on the tops of my toes. So I'm on the top of my toes. And I'm going to start to make circles just rolling over my toes. Getting the joints of every single toe just rolling over the ball of the foot. Big circles. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So it's almost as if there's a nice looseness in the hip and the knee is turning. It's like it's a little lasso kind of making circles right from this hip joint. And then we're going to take that foot down and step the other foot back. Being on the tops of those toes, we're simply going to roll over the toes. The whole leg is relaxed and loose, so we're getting a little bit of movement in the hip. Reversing direction. And then bringing that foot down. Bringing our feet together, a little bend in the knees. We're going to make some circles with our knees, as if we're rolling over the outer and inner edges of our feet. Just warming up, lubricating the knees. So even if you only do this in a day, just bringing that lubrication reverse direction when you're ready. So you want to keep those joints always moving as best you can. Coming back to standing, stepping your feet a little bit apart. We're going to hula hoop a little bit. So if you've ever hula hooped, we're going to get our hips involved. We're going to keep moving the hips in big, slow circles. And we're going to stop. And then we're going to reverse direction. I could never keep a hula hoop up. Especially going slow, right? Can you imagine a hula hoop trying to stay up going at this pace? But you do want to make these circles nice and slow. and then coming to stillness.